What happens when we die? It's a question as old as time itself, a riddle that has echoed through the ages, from the flickering campfires of our ancestors to the sterile halls of modern science. Philosophers have wrestled with it, religions have sought to answer it, and every one of us at some point has stared into the void and wondered. But in 1991, a woman named Pam Reynolds didn't just ponder the mystery, she lived it. During a high-stakes brain surgery to remove a life-threatening aneurysm, Pam was clinically dead for nearly an hour. Her heart ceased beating, her lungs stopped breathing, and her brain waves vanished into silence. Yet against all odds, she came back bringing with her a story so vivid, so extraordinary, that it defies explanation and challenges the very boundaries of what we believe is possible. This is her tale, born in the shadow of death itself, where the line between science and the supernatural blurred into something unforgettable. Pam Reynolds was a 35-year-old musician living in Atlanta, Georgia, with her husband and 3 young children. Known for her infectious energy and deep love of music, Pam was a singer-songwriter whose days were filled with melodies, laughter, and the warmth of family life. She had a knack for turning everyday moments into songs, a gift that made her a cherished figure among friends and fans alike. But in 1991, everything changed when a routine checkup revealed a devastating truth: a massive brain aneurysm, a bulging, weakened blood vessel deep within her skull, poised to rupture at any moment. A silent, ticking time bomb that could steal her life without warning. The aneurysm's location made traditional surgery impossible, leaving Pam with a single desperate option: an experimental procedure known as a standstill surgery. In this radical operation, her body temperature would be lowered to a chilling 60 degrees Fahrenheit, her heart deliberately stopped, and her blood drained from her brain to give surgeons a narrow window to operate without triggering a fatal hemorrhage. For nearly an hour, Pam would hover in a state of clinical death. No heartbeat, no breathing, no detectable brain activity, a condition few had ever returned from. It was a high-stakes gamble, one that carried the very real possibility she'd never open her eyes again. With her family gathered close, holding on to hope and fear in equal measure, Pam faced this daunting procedure with courage, unaware that it would not only save her life, but also propel her into an extraordinary journey, one that would challenge our deepest assumptions about life, death, and the mysteries that lie beyond. As the surgical team worked to save her life, Pam Reynolds slipped beyond the veil of consciousness, into a realm where time ceased to exist. She felt herself lifting, weightless, as if gravity had relinquished its hold. Below, she saw her own body on the operating table, surrounded by doctors in blue scrubs, their faces obscured by masks, their voices muffled yet strangely clear. She heard the surgeon's frustrated remark, "Her arteries are too small," and the whir of a bone saw, a sound she later described as eerily similar to an electric toothbrush. But Pam was no longer bound to the physical world. She was drawn toward a light, a brilliance so intense it should have been blinding, yet it was warm, welcoming, and impossibly comforting. As she moved closer, the light enveloped her, and she found herself in the presence of figures, familiar yet ethereal. There was her grandmother, radiant and whole, her voice a melody of love and reassurance. Other relatives, long past, stood beside her, their faces glowing with a peace that transcended words. They communicated without speaking, their thoughts flowing into Pam's mind like a gentle stream. She felt an overwhelming sense of belonging, of being home. But then a voice, her uncle's, urged her to return, to go back to her body for her children, for her life unfinished. Reluctantly, she turned away from the light, and with a jolt, she was back, gasping for air, her heart pounding, her mind reeling from the journey. Pam Reynolds had crossed the threshold of death and returned, forever changed by what she had seen and felt. Pam Reynolds' journey beyond death was not just a personal odyssey. It was a story that demanded scrutiny, a tale so extraordinary that it begged the question, could it be real? Skeptics and believers alike turned to the details of her account, seeking evidence that could bridge the gap between the mystical and the measurable. Pam had described, with uncanny precision, the surgical tools used during her operation. A bone saw that resembled an electric toothbrush, a detail later confirmed by the surgical team. She recounted hearing a surgeon's frustrated remark about her arteries being too small, a conversation that took place while she was clinically dead, with no detectable brain activity. These weren't vague impressions, they were specific, verifiable observations that defied conventional explanation. Dr. Michael Sabam, a cardiologist and NDE researcher, took a keen interest in Pam's case. After interviewing her and reviewing the medical records, he concluded that her account was not only accurate, but also impossible to explain through known physiological processes. There is no medical explanation for her experience, he stated, and yet the details she provided were confirmed by the surgical staff. For Pam, the impact was profound. She emerged from the experience with a newfound sense of purpose, her fear of death replaced by a deep, abiding peace. She spoke of the NDE as a gift, a glimpse into a reality that transcended the physical world, and she dedicated herself to sharing her story, offering comfort to those grappling with their own mortality. But Pam's story didn't just change her, it rippled outward, influencing NDE research and challenging the scientific community to explore the boundaries of consciousness. It became a touchstone for those seeking to understand the mysteries of life and death, a testament to the possibility that something of us endures beyond the final breath. Near-death experiences like Pam Reynolds have long captivated the human imagination, sparking a profound debate that straddles the line between the empirical and the ethereal. Science, with its rigorous methods and measurable data, seeks to ground these experiences in the physical world. Researchers point to the brain's remarkable ability to conjure vivid hallucinations during moments of extreme stress or oxygen deprivation. In the throes of clinical death, the brain can flood itself with chemicals like endorphins or DMT, creating sensations of peace, detachment, or even visions of light. Studies have shown heightened activity in the temporal lobe, a region associated with memory and emotion, suggesting that NDEs might be a final, awe-inspiring burst of neural fireworks. Yet, for all its explanatory power, science struggles to account for the specificity of Pam's observations, her detailed recall of surgical tools and conversations that occurred while her brain was, by all accounts, offline. This is where spirituality enters the conversation, offering a framework that transcends the physical. Many who have undergone NDEs describe them as deeply transformative, a glimpse into a realm where love, connection, and purpose are palpable. They speak of encountering deceased loved ones, of feeling an overwhelming sense of unity with the universe, or of being given a choice to return to their earthly lives. These accounts, while anecdotal, resonate with a shared human longing for meaning beyond the material. Pam herself emerged from her NDE with a conviction that consciousness persists beyond death, a belief that reshaped her understanding of existence. So where does the truth lie? Perhaps it resides in the space between, where science illuminates the mechanics of the mind, and spirituality speaks to the mysteries of the soul. As we grapple with these questions, one thing becomes clear. NDEs challenge us to expand our definitions of reality, to consider that life and death may be more intertwined than we ever imagined. When Pam Reynolds awoke from her standstill surgery, she was no longer the same woman who had entered that operating room. The experience of hovering on the edge of death, of glimpsing a realm suffused with light, love, and the presence of those she'd lost, left an indelible mark on her soul. Gone was the gnawing fear of mortality that had once shadowed her days. In its place grew a quiet, unshakable peace, a certainty that death was not an end, but a transition to something vast and beautiful. Pam spoke of her NDE as a sacred gift, a revelation that reshaped her every waking moment. She returned to her music with renewed passion, her songs now carrying the weight of what she'd seen, melodies woven with threads of hope, resilience, and a deep connection to the unseen. Her family noticed the change too. The way she held her children a little closer, the way she laughed with a lightness that seemed to defy the gravity of her ordeal. But Pam's transformation wasn't hers alone to keep. She felt a calling to share her story, to reach out to others who wrestled with grief, fear, or the looming specter of their own mortality. She spoke at gatherings, her voice steady and warm, recounting the brilliance of the light and the embrace of her grandmother's love, offering comfort to those who needed it most. Her words rippled through communities, touching lives far beyond her own, sparking conversations about the mysteries of existence. Pam's NDE became a beacon, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there might be a thread of light waiting to guide us home. And though her journey eventually ended, her legacy endures, echoing in the hearts of those who hear her tale. Pam Reynolds' journey didn't end when she woke up in that recovery room. It was just the beginning of a mystery that continues to unfold. Her story, with its vivid details and inexplicable accuracy, leaves us standing at the crossroads of science and the unknown. Was her experience a mere trick of the brain, a final burst of neural activity as her body fought to survive? Or was it a glimpse into something far greater? A dimension beyond our understanding, where consciousness persists, even after the heart stops beating? These are not just questions for Pam. They are questions for all of us. Every day, science pushes the boundaries of what we know about life and death, yet near-death experiences like hers remain a puzzle that defies easy explanation. In the next video, we'll dive deep into the research, the theories, and the debates that surround NDEs. We'll explore what happens to the brain in those critical moments and why so many who return from the brink describe encounters that feel more real than reality itself. But the answers aren't simple, and the journey is just beginning. If Pam's story has stirred something in you, if it's made you wonder, question, or even hope, then stay with us. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Together, we'll unravel the science, the spirituality, and the stories that challenge everything we thought we knew about life's greatest mystery. Goodbye. And I will see you very soon on the next chapter.